That's why I want to talk about this. In my practice, you all know, if you've watched any of my videos, I work with Black families across the United States. And one of the things that I see a lot of is PTSD. I have a lot of people who retire from the military and they have been diagnosed with PTSD. And a lot of what we do is we set up retirement plans. And part of that has to do with life insurance. And when we go to submit clients for life insurance, in a lot of cases, I'm encountering people who have PTSD. And when they go through the underwriting process with the life insurance company, they get declined. Or a lot of my clients I've run across, they have issues with depression and anxiety. Guess what? We submit them to a life insurance company to be approved for a life insurance policy. They get declined. Now, those are just two ways that your mental health can impact your finances. Not being able to obtain a life insurance policy because you have been diagnosed with chronic depression, PTSD, is a significant issue. It is something that directly impacts. Now, that's one example of how your mental health can directly impact your finances, being unable to obtain life insurance coverage or being unable to obtain sufficient life insurance coverage based on your income, your liabilities, etc. I think a lot of times one of the biggest mistakes that some of us make is we make the mistake of projecting our experience onto other people. So a lot of times you'll look at someone who might do what you consider to be something that's really dumb, something that's really silly. But based on where that person is psychologically, based on where they are mentally, that is all that they know. That is the only reality that they operating in sometimes, is a reality of dysfunction. And dysfunction it never affects just one area. A lot of times what people think of as being a spending problem or a saving problem or a problem with giving away too much money is really not a money problem at all. It's a mental health issue. A lot of times we say, well, oh, she's just a nice person. You know, I'm always giving. I'm just a giver and I like to help people. Well, where's that coming from? Are you giving because of you projecting your pain onto other people? Meaning, is it a thing about you being accepted by people and not wanting people to be mad with you? Because guess what? You don't have to pay folks bills to be a nice person. What you do for people does not directly have anything to do with what kind of person you are. Don't mistake behavior for character. And that is a lot of times what we do is we mistake a person's behavior for their character. A behavior can be altered based on an environment, right? Behaviors can be altered based on an environment, but the character of a person is what they really want when nobody's watching them, what they really think about when nobody else has access to them. That is the character of a person. And when we want to have discussions about generational wealth, we need to also have discussions about people's mental health, people's spiritual health, because what happens on the inside, it gets projected on the outside. Let me give an example. A lot of times you will look at a lot of the NFL players, a lot of the rappers, and they get their hands on a piece of change, right? They make a little bit of money, right? They make some money. They're successful in their endeavor, right? They have a #1 selling album. But let's back up. They came from a disadvantaged background. They came from a background where people always told them that they would never be anybody. They were always told that you'll never be anything, right? They were maybe abused as a child. They were just neglected, all of that stuff, right? What happens is when a person has been neglected as a child, or a person has been told that they'll never be anybody, or a person is ashamed of where they're from, when they get the opportunity to show people otherwise, they go overboard. So a lot of times what you're seeing when you see people doing the most, and I can name some athletes and some celebrities, you're just doing too much. If you don't deal with the emotional trauma, if you don't deal with what's inside of you that makes you feel like you got millions of dollars and you still got to prove something to somebody, you ain't got to prove shit to nobody. You're doing that for yourself because at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going on in your mind but you. Now, you can talk all day long to a therapist, to a counselor, but at the end of the day, when you leave that therapy chair, at the end of the day, when you turn off that iPhone camera, after making that video, flashing all your money, you still got to go to bed with your own thoughts. You still got to live with what's inside of you. I followed this person on Instagram, and very successful person, very successful business owner. And I applaud the brother for what he's doing, but I can't help but notice that every time he makes a post, it seems like he's talking to somebody. Y'all know what I'm talking about? They have this thing where it's like, well, when they say this, I do this. Well, who is they that you're talking about? Who is the they that you're trying to prove something to? That will never go away until you deal with that, how you feel about yourself. Being content within your own spirit, within your own mind is such a valuable thing. And I don't think we place enough emphasis on contentment, on having a sound mind, on being able to move through this world without having to always prove something to somebody. There is nothing wrong with coming from the hood. Tell people that I came from the hood, right? Tell people I came from the hood. This is where I'm from. But guess what? That's okay. But when you're doing a lot of extra stuff, that's not really doing anything to help you deal with your internal issues. You're going to always have to prove something to somebody or feel like you got to prove something until you deal with your internal issues. Now, let me just go to the other side of this argument. There are people on the other side that say, well, money doesn't make you happy. That's the biggest type of bullshit that I've ever heard. Money absolutely makes you happy. Money does not give you a sense of contentment. Money does not give you a sense of fulfillment. Money does make you happy. See, happiness is a temporary feeling. It's just like saying sex doesn't make you happy. Absolutely, sex makes you happy, but you can't fuck all day. You got to get up and go to work. You got to live. You got to pay bills. You got other areas of your life that need to have what? Attention and focus. So to say that money does not make you happy is inaccurate. And a lot of times people say that because they hating on folks that have money and they don't believe that they can be wealthy. So instead of them actually sitting down and doing an internal evaluation of why do I feel like I can't be wealthy, they hate on other people who are wealthy. Somebody posts something on, they post their house, they post their car. Some people just post it because they just want to motivate other people. Other people post it because they're dealing with validation issues. They need to prove something to somebody. Remember what I told you. There's a difference between character and behavior. People say, oh, I'm just wanting, and then they'll put Jesus and God in the post, when in all actuality, the reason why you post in your house, your car, your jewelry is because you want that ego boost that comes from that. The ego boost that comes from people liking your post. But why do you need the ego boost from other people? Isn't it just enough to have the success for yourself, to see how far that you've come, ignoring what other people are doing? How far have you come in your life, right? Take other people out of the equation. How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your millions? How do you feel about your house, right? But on the other side of that, why do you think money doesn't make you happy? Are you really saying that because you have any money? Have you ever made $1 million before? Oh, they see a big house like Tyler Perry's house, because you got a lot of miserable people in this world, a lot of miserable people. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about. You get on Facebook, you get on YouTube, and you read some of the comments that people make to other people's posts. And you look and you just like, you anything like me, you look and you like, why would you even write that? Why did you go out of your way, okay, to look at somebody else's video, to really consume your own time with something that you don't even like? Why did you go through that? Mental health. There's a lot of people that's a few eggs short of a dozen. They're not happy. And because they're not happy, the only way that they feel like they can deal with that is to project it out to other people. So when you look at folks that's hating on other people just because they got more money, they go, oh, well, that's too much. Tyler Perry don't need a house that big. How the fuck you gonna tell somebody else what they don't need? That's too much house. How do you know what's too? No, it's too much house for you. It's too much house for you. It ain't too much house for Tyler Perry. He bought it. He built it. So apparently it ain't too much house for him. It's too much house for you. So what we have to always do when we're moving through this world, we have to make sure that we're moving from a space of authenticity. Make sure that what you say, what you do is aligned from a place of love, right? From a place of being happy and content within yourself. Because no matter how much money you get, no matter how much people like your post because you got some money and you want up, what does that fucking mean? In 50 years, most everybody watching this video gonna be dead. Why do you invest so much time in temporary things? Invest your time into people, into things that give you fulfillment, that add value to the world. Baby, I understand that you grew up poor and you want everybody to know that you rich right now. And so you flash, but I'm gonna tell you something, baby, that's not gonna help you deal with how you feel about yourself. There's a whole bunch of people that's got a whole lot of money and don't nobody know that they got it. You know why? Because they don't have anything to prove to anybody. There's a lot of people that can see what you have and they don't want what you have. They are happy. They are genuinely happy for you. Then there are people who are jealous hearted and envious. But guess what? Other people's emotions about you and feelings about you ain't got shit to do with you. You only have limited control over how somebody perceives you. You have limited control. Now, you can greet them a certain way. You can do this, you can do it. But at the end of the day, people are going to feel what they're going to feel. So what we want to make sure we're doing when we're talking about Black wealth, we're talking about generational wealth, we're talking about building wealth, breaking generational curses within our community. We got to have a discussion about mental health. How do you feel about yourself? That is also important, family. Here at the Black Wealth Company, we care about the total well-being. Because for me, being able to see my client come in my office or have a phone consultation with me and say to me that after I attended your workshop or after I spoke to you, Jerry, I feel so much better about my future. And sometimes that means having a difficult conversation with them about mental health. No, I'm not a therapist. I'm not qualified to help you, but I can give you some resources. I can refer you to somebody that is a therapist that can help you, because guess what? In order for you to obtain a level of financial success and keep it, you got to make sure that you deal with your spirit and with your mind. But really the reason why you want to be financially free is because you want to be what? Happy with your life, right? So really, without you even thinking about it, you're actually working for your mental health when you're trying to build wealth. You're actually doing it for your mental health, because guess what? The most miserable person is somebody who broke and they feel stuck. They got their car repossessed, rent is past due, the lights been turned out. Look, I've been there. I remember one time I got my car repossessed 3 times. 3 times. It took so much. I never felt that low. And it was so demoralizing, so humiliating, especially when you're going through that situation. Not everybody has the mental fortitude to deal with the same thing. See, you might be able to deal with that. I've dealt with that before. And I was able to work through that. Not everybody is built the same way. Not everybody comes in this world. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let you all go. When you look at a person, let's say you got two people on the elevator, right? Let me tell you something. I can give you eggs, butter, sugar, flour, vanilla extract, right? And I can make what? I can make a cake with that, right? You may have come into this world with all of the necessary ingredients to achieve a certain level of success. It's biology, it's environment, it's the people that your people that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. All of that is amalgamated in a way that formulates your personality, formulates your sort of internal makeup. But no, just know this. Everybody didn't come in this world with the same ingredients that you came into this world with. You may be that person. You may not have come into this world with all of the necessary ingredients to make your pound cake. But guess what? God has given you what you have, and you maximize what you have. There's a reason why you are where you are right now. And what I want you to do is take some time and focus on getting your mind together. Why are we getting that money together? Get your mind together, get your spirit together, because they also need to be nourished. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video on the link between mental health and finances. Make sure you subscribe to the Black Wealth TV YouTube channel for more updates. I'm going to be putting disseminating these videos across all of my social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. Looking forward to you all jumping on some of my workshops. If you're interested in attending one of our in-person workshops, make sure you check out the blackwealthcompany.com website. We're going to be posting events, our virtual and in-person events there. Feel free to register. Also, if you're interested in a consultation, visit blackwealthcompany.com. Schedule your consultation. We look forward to chatting with you. Love you all. Thank you again for watching. This is Jerry Gordon, President and CEO of the Black Wealth Company, where Black Wealth is our business.